All right, we have one more award, and we're going to break for dinner. Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome our next person who will be giving the award for Distinguished Service in Philanthropy. Please join me in welcoming Peter Tanous of Le Perc Investment to introduce Maha Freij for that award. Peter Tanous.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ziad. I love the name of this organization. In the very brief time allotted for introductions, I want to highlight as many of the attributes of the next honoree as I can. So first, let me tell you that Maha Freij is Deputy Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer of Access. Now, some of you know what Access is, and I suspect some of you don't. So first, a word about Access. Access, which is based in Dearborn, Michigan, was created to assist the Arab American immigrants in adapting to life in America. It has been serving the Arab American community for over 40 years. And as such, this organization is arguably the most successful Arab American outreach and social service program ever created in this country. Now, as Access's CFO, Maha Freij oversees a budget of more than $17 million from more than 90 funding sources. Thanks to her visionary leadership, Access has successfully raised more than $30 million in the last decade for things like endowment building and even brick and mortar projects, including the first ever Arab American National Museum in the U.S. And if you've seen the Arab American Museum in Dearborn, as I have, you know what a brilliant source of pride it is to all of us. Now, you may be wondering how Maha Freij could raise over $30 million. And if you are, it means you just haven't met her yet. Words like charming, persuasive, and dedicated only begin to describe this honoree. And indeed, if you don't know her, you don't know what you're missing. But the good news is that's all about to change. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce the recipient of the American Task Force on Palestine's Distinguished Service in Philanthropy Award, Maha Freij. There she is. There she is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Peter. You're too kind. I would like to start by thanking the American Task Force on Palestine for this prestigious award and congratulating my fellow awardees for being honored tonight. I also would like to thank my family, especially my husband, who couldn't be here tonight, but just to thank him for being there for me when the times are good and the times are bad. He's been very consistent. I want to thank my mom, who taught me that nothing is impossible if I'm willing to work hard enough for what I want. And I want to thank my Access family, Access colleagues, for their commitment and leadership and their support through the years. You know, speaking about Access, it's an organization that started 40 years ago, working out of a storefront, providing one program, which is English as a second language. It grew from that time to an organization, or I shouldn't call it an organization, to an amazing institution that works from 8 locations through Southeast Michigan, offering over 100 programs, operating a $17 million annual budget, employing over 250 employees, and have such a unique way of connecting service into an agenda for civic participation and advocacy. Our post-September 11 vision concentrated so much on institution building within the Arab American community, both nationally and locally. I want to share a quote with you that really drives our vision by Jean Monnet. He said, "Without people, nothing is possible, and without institutions, nothing is lasting." Guided by that kind of vision, our national initiatives in the arts, philanthropy, advocacy, and community development grew into very distinguished institutions that have a national and even international reputation. Our Arab American National Museum, the first and only museum out of 17,500 museums in the United States that documents and preserves the contributions of Arab Americans to society. It became a Smithsonian affiliate only when it was 2 years old. 1 out of 4 in the state of Michigan that has such an affiliation. This is our way of institutionalizing how we tell our story the way we understand it, and not to worry about how others are telling it on our behalf and being not happy about it. Second national initiative is the National Network for Arab American Communities, which works with local community-based organizations across the nation that are Arab American, supports them, and strengthen their capacity so they can effectively meet the local needs of their community and come together collectively and advocate on a national level for issues that are important to all of them. We started in 2004, and now we have 22 member organizations in 10 states and the District of Columbia. The last institution that is national is the closest to my heart, and that's the Center for Arab American Philanthropy. Modeled after a community foundation model, it's the only national Arab American community philanthropy program in the country. It is, besides being a grant maker, its brilliance is that it offers Arab Americans from across the country the ability and the inspiration and the expertise and the venues and the tools to be strategic and impactful in their giving and in their philanthropy by offering venues like donor-advised funds, giving circles, endowed donor-advised funds, and endowed field of interest funds. This is a particular institution, that Center for Arab American Philanthropy, that is institutionalizing how we can house the community resources. And by housing these community resources, we are harnessing the collective power of Arab American giving, which we believe will lead into strengthening the voice of the Arab American community and American civil society. You know, building strong institutions is the way for us as Arab Americans to project our voice as a vibrant, as civically engaged community. And during these particular times where there is so much noise about immigrant bashing and anti-Arab, anti-Muslim, all rhetoric, I think that it is more important than ever for us to be leaders in terms of reminding all Americans about the beautiful values that make this country so special, the democratic values of justice, equality, civil rights, and civil liberties. Thank you so very much.
How about another round of applause, please, for Maha Freij. So, if you haven't been to the museum in Dearborn, go see it. It's moving and inspiring. It's beautiful. We're going to be having our dinner break now. During dinner, there will be a film shown from the Palestinian Authority, made one on State Institution Building, which we're going to show. Also, don't forget the silent auction. Take a few minutes during dinner. Go out there. We have a 50-minute break before the program picks up. There's some amazing things. Now, enjoy your dinner. We'll see you back in 50 minutes. Thank you.